Hello everyone, this is the Millennial Investor, and today I'm going to show you guys how to open a Fidelity Roth IRA or possibly a different form of account on the computer, and we'll move on to the phone afterwards. But starting an account, you're going to want to do this on the computer. Now, today is actually the 27th of November, which means today's actually Black Friday. And right now, people are out there spending their money on material things. But what you should always be thinking about is long term as well. And one of the great things that is offered to people in the United States is a Roth IRA. And basically, it's like a retirement account that you put money in, and it's kind of like it gets put into the stock market. And when you go to take it out after a certain age, you can withdraw everything tax-free. So there's a really great advantage of that. In fact, I personally think it's a lot nicer than a 401k. In practicality, of course, you should always be maxing out your 401k, especially if there is a match offered by your employer. I mean, that's practically free money. But anyways, today we're going to focus on the Roth IRA. And I personally like Fidelity due to the mutual funds it offers. There are mutual funds and ETFs. And I love to play with stocks and ETFs on my other accounts, but for the Roth IRA, you want to stick to usually something a little bit safer, long-term gains. You don't really want to be, playing with, hey, I might buy the stock here and whatnot, because this money you're not really going to be pulling out long-term. So you want to put something in there that's going to grow over time. And Fidelity has some great choices that I'll talk about in the next video after this. And it's a great reason to see why to choose Fidelity over a different account. But here we are on the webpage, fidelity.com. And what's great about Fidelity is also they have physical branches here and there. So if you ever need help, especially if you're a little bit older and you don't like to mess around with technology too much, you can always head to a local branch. But setting it up here, we're going to show you how to do it. It's fairly easy. So we're just going to kick it off right here. So here we are on the main page. And you can see here is where you would normally log in. So you've got a username, and you can remember me, and then password. But we're going to pretend like we don't have an account, and we're going to go to open an account right here. And here it has your couple choices. So you have brokerage account, which is, if you're going to be trading. Personally, I use E-Trade for that. I feel like it has a little more benefits depending on what you're doing. But it's definitely a good choice nonetheless. Cash management account. And here on the side are retirement IRAs. So you have rollover IRAs depending on your income. You have a traditional IRA, and then you have a Roth IRA. Now, you are welcome to pretty much research these, but I'm not going to talk about them in this video. Right now, I'm just going to show you how to open an account, and it should be generally pretty similar no matter which one you choose. It's going to walk you through. It's very simple and easy. So we're going to go for Roth IRA right here. And now, depending on your employer, you might already have a 401k with Fidelity. You might have, a different account for it. You would just click yes, and then you could log in. You wouldn't have to mess around with any of this stuff, because then it'll just connect the account with what you have. But we would click no, enter your name and stuff, and then we'll click get started. Then it goes to tell us about yourself, and you'll have to insert basic information. I've just put a bunch of baloney in here for now, and we'll see if it lets us go to the next step. That would be ideal. But pretty much your general stuff. You will need your social security, so make sure to have that on hand. It's never fun bringing out the social, but you got to do it for banks and stuff like that. So this is no different in that regard. And so then you'll also have to input your address, and if you want statements, they'll usually send them to this address. This is also a bogus address, so don't try and look me up. Next. All right. We notice that you already have a Fidelity.com username. Interesting. All right. So I've switched over to incognito, and the page is a little different here, but it's more or less the same thing. So you're pretty much just going to enter account information. Once again, I have just put a bunch of baloney in there. We'll go to next. Employment status. Not sure why this is important, but you would have to put it down. So employed, you would fill in this information. Self-employed, you would have to put these. Not employed, retired, and employed by Fidelity. But we're going to put let's not employed here because that seems to be easier. So are you an immediate member residing in the same household associated with anything related basically to the stock market? Do they work with securities or anything like that? No. And are you or an immediate household member or 10% shareholder of a public held company, corporate officer, blah, blah, blah? No. Good for them if they are, though. And so core position. So here is more or less what they say here, where your money is held until you invest it. So you have a government money market fund, right? And this, basically both of these here, both of these options, will kind of get you some money in theory when it's not in an investment. So think about like if I put $1,000 in my account and I only put 500 in, the other 500 will go either to the government money market fund, the SPACs, or the FDIC insured deposit sweep program. Both of these aren't really going to net you much money, so honestly, it kind of almost doesn't matter. In theory, SPACs is supposed to get you a little bit more, but the limit of insured money is less. However, it's something like $100,000 or something like that. And generally, in a Roth IRA, the maximum is about $6,000. So you're never going to be putting that much in anyways. So you could just leave it in SPACs and roll with that. It's really not going to make a huge difference whichever one you pick. So either one is okay. Here you can receive your financial documents either electronically or by paper. Electronically obviously is going to come quicker. It's 2020. A lot of people like that, but frankly, I also like to have physical copies as well. Usually though, if they give you the physical copies, then you won't receive them electronically. Generally, I'm not sure if Fidelity does this or not. Also, every once in a while, depending on banks, for example, there are fees. If you receive them electronically, you won't have to pay some fees. If you get the physical copies, then there are some fees you might have to pay. So I would double check that. I do not know off the top of my head what Fidelity does with that. This is just a little newsletter offered by Fidelity Viewpoints. Kind of comes down to personal preference. You might pick up some good information, you might not. You'll realize real quick when it comes to the stock market that there are many different forms of advice, and advice that you might perceive as good might be bad, and advice that sounds bad might actually be really good. It's really a toss-up either way. At the end of the day, you want to go with your own decisions. So we'll go to next here. And so we've got review and confirm, Roth IRA, under all this information here, not employed, whatever, confirm information. And so there are a couple documents, disclosures, contracts. This prospectus right here, this will be in regards to the money market fund. Just like I said, it's kind of where your money will sit, and this document here will change depending on which one you pick. This prospectus is basically what the fund is about, if there are any fees to it, and whatnot. I don't think it would make sense for the money market fund to have fees, but there might be. So there's that. Yeah, always a quick read will let you know. And in fact, we can take a look here. So this is a prospectus. Okay, so there is a management fee. Take that into consideration. You might make a little more, but you're also probably going to pay a little more. So management fee is 0.25%. That might not sound like a lot, but then you've also got other expenses. Not sure where that comes from. Comes out to 0.42. Considering whatever their dividend rate might be, that might cancel out a considerable amount. So always something to look at when you're going to be creating an account. Now, like I said, with a Roth IRA, you really don't want to be just leaving your money around. And like I said, we'll talk about two mutual funds I really like in the next video that I personally would just put your money right into and just let it sit there. So going back here, do you agree to electronic delivery? Sure. And then you will click open account. Now when you open the account, it'll go over to fund, and here is where you'll connect your bank account. There will be kind of a little verification process where they send a deposit. You verify the amount that was deposited. They'll take that little deposit back, and then you'll transfer some money to your account. Then after that, you'll put the money into a fund. So we can do that in a part 2 video. This was more or less just setting up the account. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment down below. Make sure to like the video and subscribe. Like I said, this is going to be kind of a multi-step process here for setting up an account, choosing funds and whatnot. So hopefully you guys will look forward to those videos. And like I said, any questions, let me know in the comments. Either I or other people will try to help you out. If not, Fidelity is one of those companies that has pretty good customer service as well. So you are welcome to reach out to them. Anyways, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.